Jody McIntyre was standing in Birmingham Yardley, and I was feeling a bit despondent on Friday, having not slept very much as well. And he called me up and said, "I'm sorry I couldn't speak on your show yesterday, but I ran out of battery on my phone." And he had a fantastic result, coming from 0 to actually being very close to beating Jess Phillips. Jody, how are you doing? Good to see you. And it was great to hear you the other yesterday, was it, or the day before? I can't remember now because my sense of days is all gone. You're determined to carry on and to win in the next election. So I'll just show people that your results, which was fantastic. As you can see, Jess Phillips, 11,275 votes, and you're second with 10,582. The other parties, I mean, Reform's got quite a few votes, but the other parties are really low. Noticeably, there, the Greens have nearly 2,000 votes. If they'd gone to you, then you would certainly have won. So, can you tell us how you're feeling now, and also what your next plan is in this election?
Well,
election, I
mean. It was quite amusing because Jess Phillips mentioned in her speech that she liked marginal seats. But the point is, it wasn't a marginal seat. It was a safe Labour seat, and we've now turned it into one of the closest marginals in the country. I actually think that going into the next election, I should be the favourite. I should be the favourite. And, I told you before this election that we would take the seat. We were very, very close to doing so. But next time round, whenever the next election is, I honestly believe that I will win by a landslide. Support for Labour in Birmingham Yardley and in many areas of Birmingham is at an all-time low. And if we add in the people who said during the campaign that they would love to vote for me, but there was no point because I didn't have any chance of winning. If we convince those people next time round, which I think will be easy to do now, I believe that I will win by a landslide. I'm very upbeat because I've been following politics for a long time, and you can't achieve everything in one day. But this result was unprecedented. As you just mentioned, we came from nothing. In a matter of weeks, no one knew who I was, no one knew my name. We didn't have a big party behind us. It was a truly grassroots movement. We engaged the community. We had hundreds of women who had never voted before voting for us. We had teenagers registered for the first time voting for us. We had disabled people who had never been represented or never felt represented before in the political process voting for us. And we did something that I would say has never been done, but next time we're taking the seat, that's for certain.
And what sort of ideas have you got for how you can continue to engage and eventually win? What sort of plans have you got for that?
We're planning to open an office in the constituency. We're planning to hold weekly surgeries where we help constituents with any problems or difficulties they have. We're planning to hold regular public meetings where people can come and ask questions and talk about things that are important to them. The fact is, I got virtually the same number of votes as Labour did. So they don't have much more legitimacy than I do to claim to represent the community. I saw that Jess Phillips on an interview with the BBC, she said, I won and Labour won. So I'm pretty chuffed. You just lost half of your vote. If that was a victory, then I don't want to know what defeat looks like. If I was an MP and I just lost half of my vote share, over 10,000 votes, I wouldn't be talking about victory and I wouldn't be celebrating. I'd be showing contrition, humility, and I'd be apologizing to the thousands of people who have turned their back on the Labour Party for the first time. You know, it's ironic that Jess Phillips chose to use her victory speech instead to attack my campaign.
Right.
The problem is, my volunteers, the constituents who voted for me, are the same people who have voted for Labour for the last 10 years. So if she wants to paint a picture that these people, Labour supporters,
Can I?
by
Sorry,
the way,
can I just
yeah,
interrupt because I want people to get an idea of
okay,
what what's been going on in the media, because if you look up Jody and Jess Phillips and Yardley, all you'll get are headlines like these. I'll just show you some of them here. There's a couple. The terrifying pro-Palestine campaign that hurt Labour and threatens democracy. That's one, and then this one's this is a tire slashed and men screaming in women's faces. Jess Phillips on horrible campaign. Jess Phillips has admitted she found the general election campaign absolutely horrible after enduring abuse, which culminated in being booed as she gave her acceptance speech. Now, what's your response to all that you've seen? Because she's really attacked. I mean, that headline had your picture on it as well, the Telegraph one. The fact that the Gaza situation, we've been ignored by the MPs when we lobbied them in Parliament. Some of them, Jess Phillips, it may have not voted the way that others did, but she's still in Labour Friends of Israel. Why can't we go out and campaign on the issue of Palestine? That's one issue that was raised in that headline. But the other one is this terrifying thing. And I have to say, a lot of use of women and men. There's a lot of ideas of women being shouted at, and that men are shouting at women. And what's your take on all this?
unfortunately, Jess Phillips has a history of using a racist Islamaphobic trope that all Muslim men hate women to portray herself as a victim. And it's a totally fabricated narrative. She also said in her speech that she couldn't bring her children to the camp. Well, I didn't bring my children either because it was 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's nothing to do with intimidation or something like that. You know, she's got a history of this. She once said that the British, Pakistani, Bangladeshi community has issues about women's roles in the family. I'm sorry to say, it's just a racist narrative. It reminds me of the way, many years ago, black people were often portrayed as violent or aggressive or intimidating purely based on their appearance. Muslim men and women should be allowed to be politically engaged and have political opinions, just like any other section of society. Now, how is taking a disenfranchised and disillusioned section of society and engaging them in the political process, how is that a threat to democracy? Surely that's encouraging people to engage with the democratic process. So it's totally fabricated narrative. And if she'd specifically made these accusations about me or about my campaign, I would have considered taking legal action because there's no basis to these accusations. However, because she made it in quite a general way, um, I don't even think she specifically it was more of an implication rather than a direct accusation.
The other thing she mentions is she says that she invited members of Joe Cox's family to attend the count. Now, if she knew that it was such an intimidating election as she was suggesting it had been, not just on the day of the count or on the night, why would she invite them? It just seems like it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of it's inconsistent, isn't it?
It doesn't reflect the campaign. I took my wife and children canvassing with me. We had female volunteers, we had women, we had teenagers, we had kids. It's a totally fabricated narrative, and it's just basically a play to the media to play the victim. Listen, let's be serious about this. Of all the candidates in Birmingham Yardley, who got the most abuse? I don't think we need much speculation to work that out. I got thousands of comments on a regular basis, genuinely abusive comments attacking me, not for my political stances, but because I have a disability or because of the way I look. That is genuine abuse. When Jess Phillips did her speech, some people in the crowd were chanting Free Palestine. This is clearly a reference to her parliamentary support for Labour Friends of Israel and for the Labour Party's support of the genocide in Gaza. Just before our declaration, Liam Byrne was declared for Hodge He also won by a very small margin. And he got a similar response from the crowd. Young people are very upset and angry at the Labour Party's position on Gaza, at the Labour Party's bankrupting of the local council, and at the Labour Party's abandoning of their community. It's not abuse, it's upset and anger at their political stances and at their actions.
Are you surprised at what's happened since? What's your? Were you kind of expecting? It's quite a shocking thing for you to be sort of.
I was surprised because all the other candidates congratulated me. The Reform, Conservative, Lib Dems, Greens were all congratulating me and saying, this is an unbelievable result. This is an unbelievable campaign you've run. So I thought Jess would say, we disagree politically, but congratulations on what you've done. You gave me a very close fight right to the end. So I think that's what should happen in politics. If someone does well, you congratulate one another. We don't need to make this into a personal slinging match. This is a political difference that we have. And, my campaign is not over and we're not going away. So the Labour Party are going to have to eventually engage with us on a political issue and respond to the political criticisms that we're making rather than attacking us on a personal level. And it's really going to backfire on them because these people who she's maligning are her constituents. Well, they might be my constituents soon, but for now they're her constituents.
Right. Well, it's great to speak to you, and I love your drive to move on and win the next time, and that's exactly what we need to be doing.